P. Diddy is dead on arrival if he doesn't testify, says an attorney. That is the article that made headlines yesterday with over 500,000 views. It was posted by Fox News. I haven't watched the article, but I was like, this is interesting. I mean, the title alone was shocking enough for me to click, but let's hear them out. Here we go. Again, Diddy is, I'm looking at it over here. Diddy is dead on arrival if he doesn't testify, attorney. Here we go.
Just talking about these so-called freak-offs.
Okay, hold on. I can't show the video because, I'll get, I don't want to get in trouble. But after we talk about that video, I am going to do some reactions to videos that you will actually see. All right, and I'm looking this way because I'm reading some live comments because we're via live on TikTok. So I might, basically say what they're saying, echoing some of the testaments there. All right, so here it is. P. Diddy dead on arrival if he doesn't testify, attorney.
These were no secret. So he'd been openly bragging about these wild parties. There's like sex parties, and it looks like, there were probably lots of other things going on there too. But he was bragging about this for, a couple of decades. Wow.
Yes, he was bragging about it. They're going to show a clip where he is at an interview on a Tonight Show, and he's bragging about these parties.
This is what you need to do. Women, beautiful women. We need alcohols. Right. Alcohols. Right. Not just one alcohol. Alcohols. Right. Just different blend. You need the ladies, you need the booze. Right. Gotta keep them there. Right. You need locks on the doors. Okay, this is sounding kind of dangerous now. It's a little kinky, but yeah.
Brian,
Yeah, and so when you're watching that on a late night TV show, you tend to think that he's joking. You don't really think it's that serious until years later.
creepy, but what took the Fed so long to do something?
Hey, Laura, always great to be with you. Yeah, I think it's I'm in LA, it's the Hollywood celebrity path to justice, where we simply look at a clip like that and we laugh and giggle about, oh, let's get alcohol, let's get drugs, let's get all these ladies at a party. For years, P. Diddy's gotten a hall pass. He's actually created his own kingdom where he makes his own rules, and you got to follow his rules or you get penalized. And guess what, Laura? He's now in a federal penitentiary, and for the first time in his life, he's facing his own fate at the hands of somebody else. And I will tell you, Laura, I've done federal cases, that's not the place you want to be in federal court. 90% of federal criminal indictments brought down are pled out, right? A plea deal is brought. And of the only 10% left, 90% of those defendants that go to trial, they lose. So he is looking at a daunting uphill battle to fight these horrible charges.
Now, Brian, one of the DHS agents involved in this raid on his Miami mansion described what he saw inside the house, saying that, in my opinion, he's as bad as Epstein. These women are young, either barely legal or barely...
I keep hearing that they keep comparing him to Jeffrey Epstein. Do you guys think that this is comparable? If you do, put number 1 in the chat. If you don't, if you think it's totally two different things, put number 2 in the chat. Somebody said, Diddy is as bad as Epstein, says officer who saw the rooms, the SEX rooms, hidden cameras during a Miami mansion raid. The officer went on to say, in my opinion, he as bad as Jeffrey Epstein. These women are younger, either barely legal or barely illegal. September 18th. And also, not to mention, there were also men involved too. There were also men sex workers that were involved in this. And I don't understand why the media is glazing over that. It should be just as highlighted.
Illegal. Brian, this sounds like he was a monster.
Oh.
Yeah, Laura.
Can we just talk for a minute about monsters? I've been watching the Menendez brothers on Netflix. I'm shook. I'm like on episode 7. Because the director of that Menendez show, the Monsters, Menendez brothers, they had did, what's up, Teresa? They had did, what was it? You guys know, he did this other movie that was popular last year. And now that he's coming out with the Menendez brothers, I was shook. I was so shook by that. Like, if you guys are watching the Menendez brothers on Netflix, you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm shook.
I'll tell you that this indictment was very detailed, by the way, too. Your viewers should know there.
Oh, but there needs to be a documentary film on this P. Diddy stuff. And you know it's gonna this has everything you need for a hit movie. You have glamour, money, sex, drugs, okay? Mansions, Beverly Hills mansions, Miami mansions, private jets, flying in exotic men and women. Like, this has to be a movie. And who will play the role of P. Diddy in this movie? Who will play Cassie? And you know there's gonna be multiple movies. There's gonna be a movie for the Lifetime television for women. There's gonna be a movie on the Hallmark Channel. There's gonna be a Hulu version. There's gonna be a Netflix version, an Amazon Prime version, HBO Max version. There's gonna be so many different variations of this movie. I can't wait to watch them all. Now Beyonce's involved. I'm seeing Jennifer Lopez's name get thrown in it. This is interesting. And a lot of y'all keep saying that P. Diddy is going to sing like a canary and take down everyone in Hollywood with him.
Over 300 subpoenas served, over 50 witnesses interviewed. Why is that important? Because the federal prosecutors aren't going to be leveling an indictment like this unless they have ammunition and they have cause to bring it. And the core issue at this case, which the feds have to prove, which it's looking like they can, is that P. Diddy essentially controlled these women, that he threatened them with stopping the money that he was paying them, that he spiked their drinks with drugs, that's been alleged in the indictment, and that he basically told them, I'm going to ruin your life unless you engage in these freak-offs. And that's really what the prosecutors got to prove. And if you've got some victims coming forward to talk about that, you've got financial records that prove that, travel itinerary that proves that, P. Diddy has very little defense. And I got to tell you, Laura, if this guy wants to fight these charges, he's going to have to step up and walk into a courtroom and talk about it. If he doesn't testify in this case, he is dead on arrival.
Well, who else is on these tapes? I mean, will the tapes ever see the light of day? I mean, that's what everybody's talking about. Who else is there? It's like with the...
These tapes will not see the light of day. These tapes have been seen by police officers, attorneys, judges. And these tapes, the only way that we're going to see them is reenactments through movie and film that will show a lot less than what, you know what I'm saying. We're not going to see the actual everything, but we'll get a little scenario. We'll get a scenario. We went down like this, and then they did this, and then they took this off. But people actually want to see the tapes. This is insane. The fact that people even want to see the tapes, I don't even want to see it. I can just read and then just envision. I don't even have to see it. But people want to see these tapes. And there is apparently arson involved. I think there was something about a Cassie was dating a rapper or talking to a rapper, and then his car blew up and stuff like that. So, and thank you guys for all the super thanks and the comments. And thank you guys for all the gifts. I appreciate that so much. All right, here we go. I think we're almost done, yeah.
His pleasure island. Who else? Who went? Who was there? What's the manifest? But Brian, chances 1 being least likely, 10 being most likely. Will we learn of other celebrities that were at these freak-offs?
Yeah, I think you've got an 8 or a 9 for a likelihood you're going to hear about it. Why? Because there are going to be more indictments coming down, Laura.
Indict Jennifer Lopez. Listen, this is most publicity Jennifer Lopez is going to get in a while. Jennifer Lopez can't sell a movie to save her life. She can't sell out a concert to save her life. Jennifer Lopez can't even get a rose to save her life, much as a like or a subscriber. And I've been saying, if Jennifer Lopez was to come out and testify, show up to the court in a white limousine, and come out in a full mink coat with the hat over her head and sunglasses, and she walks in that courtroom, and she's going to testify, and she's going to say, Your Honor, look at the camera for publicity. I was a victim for years. You guys, seriously, guys, he was a monster. And then look at the other camera. And I'm going to go on tour with Cassie. Oh my God. Oh my God. People would love it. People would be like, yes, finally Jennifer Lopez speaking out. But you know why Jennifer Lopez ain't speaking out? Because allegedly she was on them tapes too. Jennifer Lopez was all up in them at the parties too. And a lot of the celebrities are not speaking out. I'm talking about Rihanna, Jennifer Lopez, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Justin Bieber, Usher. Should I continue? I have a list. A lot of these celebrities aren't speaking out because they were at the parties too. And they was up in the rooms in the freak-offs, dipping it and doing it. A little bump here, a little bump there. You know what I'm talking about? Bumping that. You already know. So they're all going down.
That's an important point here because he's being charged with racketeering.
Right. Incognito with all that baby oil.
You're going to have, well, let's start on the inner circle. You're going to have former bodyguards. You're going to possibly have former musicians that he was.
Oh, this is a good point too. When you have that much disposable income, you do have bodyguards, assistants, personal assistants, secondary assistants, executive assistants, drivers, off-duty police officers. You do have stuff like that. So all these people can be brought into the courtroom to testify on his character.
You've got personal assistants that are going to be, they're already talking about this. Some of those are likely to be charged. And then guess what? If you've got some music moguls that are sending women over to these alleged freak-offs, then you've got some top people that are going to start crumbling too, because they're all part of what's called this criminal enterprise.
All right, Brian, always great to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian. All right, guys, I'm going to switch over because we have a lot more to talk about some videos that I have seen on online, and we're going to be doing some commentary over those. So grab a snack and come on back. Now, if you made it this far in the video, drop a heart emoji in the chat. Okay, guys and girls and everyone in between, we have a lot to go over today. Drama class, P. Diddy. Now, we're going to be looking over The Veteran and Cinematica. They posted some very interesting stories, and I wanted to go over them with you. Let me just put this off to the side here. I don't want to have any testicle difficulties. All right, so I'm going to be watching this together, and we have a lot to go over, so here we go.
Bail and remanded at the Hell on Earth jail. This is Diddy's gang initiation ritual in prison. Sean Diddy Combs has been indicted on charges of racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transporting individuals for prostitution after his arrest on September 16th, 2024.
You know, I heard rumors circulating around that P. Diddy was offered a book deal, that there was going to be a tell-all book that's going to be coming out against him with names, and if he didn't want the book out, he had to pay $30 million, and he declined the book deal. And then he also was told that if he doesn't cooperate, there's going to be lawsuits, and he said bring the lawsuits. And the lawsuit hit, allegedly Cassie, the lawsuit was for $30 million, and he got paid quickly. And once he paid the $30 million to Cassie, and the video got leaked out of the hotel room, then it gave plausible cause to the government to look into, like, well, if he paid $30 million so quickly, maybe there's some truth to it. And they started looking around, and this is where we're at today. Now, there's all rumors and conspiracies, but I believe them to be true, so here we go.
A 14-page federal grand jury indictment that outlines the allegations against the music mogul. At his bail hearing in Manhattan, Combs pleaded not guilty to all charges. However, his attempt to secure bail twice on September 17th and 18th, 2024 was denied, and he remains behind bars. Combs is currently being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, a facility notorious for its harsh conditions and high-profile detainees that is also known as Hell on Earth.
He's also on suicide watch.
Brooklyn, home to around 1,200 inmates, has drawn attention for a series of violent incidents and unsafe conditions. In June
Wow.
2024, a detainee was fatally stabbed, and the following month, another inmate died in a violent altercation. Combs, who has enjoyed a life of luxury and comfort, now faces a sharp contrast to this in his new environment.
You know, he's looking at life in prison, guys. I think the least he would get, the least, is 99 years. It's sad. It's such a sad thing. To go from this multi-million-dollar penthouse in Beverly Hills to now you're in Brooklyn, Bronx, jail cells. I mean, listen, last I heard, was it the Bronx or Brooklyn? It isn't a walk, it isn't a cakewalk. You know, it's a different scene. It's not Rodeo Drive. You're not in not at Saks Fifth Avenue, you know, not in Manhattan. It's tough. It's rough and tough over there. It's cold in those prison cells.
Indicate that he is sleeping on a thin half-inch mattress without a pillow and has only a few feet of space to move around. Notably, Combs is not the first high-profile inmate to be held at MDC Brooklyn. The facility has housed numerous famous detainees over the years, including R. Kelly, Sam Bankman-Fried, and rapper Ja Rule. MDC Brooklyn's notorious reputation has only worsened since the closure of it.
Yeah, so that prison he's at has gotten worse and worse and worse.
MCC New York and Lower Manhattan in 2021, another federal detention center known for its dangerous conditions. MCC New York was the facility where Jeffrey Epstein died by suicide in 20...
He's been in jail for, what, 3 days now? He's still alive? I don't know. He's going to be... for him to wait out his whole sentence, you know, very interesting.
19 due to misconduct among correction staff. Interestingly, R. Kelly, who was held at MDC Brooklyn during his legal proceedings, filed a lawsuit against the facility in 2022. He claimed that he was wrongfully placed on suicide watch after his sentencing, even though there were no indications he was suicidal. Kelly...
Well, this is the thing.
one...
When you're placed on... Let's just... I'll keep it real. When you're placed on suicide watch, they kind of isolate you even more. And they tend to watch you even more. I think that P. Diddy is not on a suicide watch because he says he's suicidal. I think that he's marked as suicidal so that way he could have extra attention on him by the officers. Like, keep a close eye on him. But don't make it because he's special treatment, we're going to label it as suicide watch. Does that make sense? I hope you guys can pick up what I'm putting down. I could be wrong, but that's how I see it.
$100 million in damages, accusing the facility of violating his rights. Similarly, Sam Bankman-Fried, the former cryptocurrency billionaire, faced his own struggles during his time at the facility. His attorney reported that Bankman-Fried was forced to survive on bread, water, and peanut butter due to the facility's failure to accommodate his vegan diet. The detention center repeatedly served him meals containing...
This is what I talked about previously in my other P. Diddy videos. Check that out if you haven't already. One of my biggest fears of going to a facility like this, if ever, hopefully not, is like the attention to medical. That, you know, everyone in the chat, if you suffer from like a chronic illness or you take medication, put number 7 in the chat. Right? So let's say you have thyroid, Hashimoto's, hypo, diabetes, high blood pressure, things like that, right? And you got to take medicine for that every day. And I feel like these prisons are like, you'll get the medicine when you get it. Sometimes you won't even get it at all. It's prison. It's not made for it to be easy. It's tough. We got a lot going on. Oh, you're a vegan? Sorry. This is all you're getting is this bologna right here and this bread with mustard. So eat a little mayonnaise sandwich, mustard sandwich. You know, it's like they're not gonna cater to you. Oh, you have veneers? You need teeth cleaning every 3 months, periodontal maintenance. Oh, you'll see a doctor once a year for a teeth visit for about 10 minutes. You're gonna, oh, you have a toothache? Pull the tooth. Oh, you have a cavity? Pull the tooth. It's like they don't even, it does not need to go to that extreme. And it's so scary here because of situations like that. Is P. Diddy on medications? Is he on thyroid, diabetes? He's on heart condition medicine? Is, high blood pressure? Things, all these things like that. I'm just, it's very shocking. And these are things that, like, they're very read between the lines type situations. Yes, he's going to jail, but, like, what if he is vegan? They're gonna cater to him? Do prisons cater to vegan people, vegetarian people? People who are on medication, do they make sure they get their pills on time at the same time every day? I believe that these places drop the ball in situations like that.
Meat, despite numerous requests for vegan options, forcing him to go without proper nutrition for extended periods. When it comes to Diddy Combs, his legal team has been vocal about their concerns regarding his imprisonment at MDC Brooklyn. His lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, described the facility as inhumane and a total tragedy. In an effort to secure Combs' release, his attorneys made several significant offers to the court. They offered his $48 million Miami Beach mansion as collateral for bail, and even proposed restricting female visitors from entering his home, with the exception of his mother,
What about men?
sisters, and the mothers of his children. Despite these concessions, the judge remained firm and denied him bail. The denial of bail came after prosecutors raised concerns about potential witness tampering. During the hearing, they pointed to a 2016 incident involving Combs and his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles. In the incident, which was captured on the hotel security cameras, Combs could be...
And I'm not going to play that because we already know it's very, you know.
This decision has left Combs facing an uncertain future as he awaits trial in a facility notorious for its poor conditions and mistreatment of inmates.
There he is. Now, this one I thought it got bad. It got worse. Because this is from this right here.
Year with the recent turn of events, as word now has it that his son Christian has allegedly gotten himself roped up in his father's business.
Now they're blaming the son. That P. Diddy's son is worse than the dad. That P. Diddy's son is allegedly gay. That P. Diddy's son was involved in the freak-offs. Here we go.
Now, this situation is so sick that even a century worth of baby oil ain't gonna be enough to slip Diddy through the law's grasp, and boy, are we here for it. For one, Sean Diddy Combs has faced numerous allegations in the past 1 year. Wait, did I just say 1 year? Well, scratch that, because according to Rolling Stone magazine, Diddy's alleged crimes have been lining up for as far back as the early 2000s. And
oh, yeah. I would say since 1995.
what seemed to open the can of worms was Cassie's case, which got the whole world talking earlier this year. And ever since Cassie's case, there's been a truckload of other victims speaking up against Diddy.
You know, Cassie's been real quiet lately. Cassie's been real quiet lately. Allegedly, she got $30 million in the settlement. And she been real quiet lately.
But y'all, here's the tea. On the 4th of April, 2024, one of Diddy's sons called Christian, aka King, was arrested, but it's no shocker as the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. According to rumors, Christian was arrested for putting his hands on a woman who was working on Diddy's rented yacht, and when
working on a rented yacht.
Were filed against him, it was found that Diddy was an accomplice to the crime, as he had allegedly paid someone to cover up his son's dirt. But just as Diddy was about walking out with his son in Manhattan, he was arrested by Homeland Security agents for a federal indictment, amongst other things. Sources have it that Diddy was slammed with an indictment letter which was centered around his infamous freak-off parties. And the charges describe some horrific things Diddy and his son reportedly did to several women they'd lured in the past.
Let's begin with the new details.
And with new details tonight, this disturbing sex trafficking and racketeering case against Sean Diddy Combs. A judge ordered Diddy to remain behind bars until his trial after federal prosecutors argued the 54-year-old was a flight risk. Prosecutors...
You know what, guys? 54 years old is not old. It's not old. 54 years old. Life's just getting started. It's getting fun. You know, it really, from the culture perspective of the black community, a lot of people looked up to P. Diddy. A lot of people really did, and he did things and broke boundaries, and all for what? Because it's like you couldn't just keep things at a normal pace. It had to be so extravagant, so you had to have these huge parties, freak off parties. I mean, God, you know what I'm saying? It's like you had to have parties that lasted alleged days. You couldn't find you one person that was a consenting adult that could be someone that, what would you call that? Your lover. And then I just thought that was always Cassie. Apparently he had multiple women, multiple girlfriends. You can't juggle all of them at the same time. You know? When you're dating multiple men or multiple women, it's very difficult, because think of it as you're pouring water into a plant, and you want to foster growth within this relationship, and you're putting water into it. Then everyone else is not getting water; they're not getting the attention. So there's always something missing. So it's very difficult to foster good relationships if you're not watering the plants. And it's a shame, because I believe that Cassie was really down for him and really wanted to be there for him and things like that. And he just wanted to have his cake and eat it too, and have all these other options. As you should listen, if Cassie just should have been someone that was a good friend to you when you want her attention. You have some type of arrangement with her, consulting, no type of controlling. You don't have to control. The thing is, you can't control people. And that's one thing I've learned in life. You can't control people. Let them. If they want to hang out with you, let them hang out with you. They don't. Let them. If Cassie wants to be around, let her be around. If you don't want Cassie around because you want to hang out with some other girl, be upfront and honest. Don't lie about it. Be like, hey, you know what? I really like you. I think you're great. But, you know, I'm a multi-billionaire, and I just want to have fun. I just want to have fun. So when I fly you out and we're on the south of France on a yacht, I just want to have fun, take you shopping, spend money on you, fly you back home. I don't really want anything too tied down right now. But I like you because I'm doing that with you. But I want to be honest. And when I fly you back home, I'm going to fly in another person and get to know them. So just know that. And everything's consulting. Everyone's of age. Everyone's agreed upon. There's NDAs. There's contracts. But to have these freak-off parties and you're drugging people and having them locked in rooms, and now you have accusations of minors and so much more. And then you have sex workers of men and sex workers of women are about to come forward.
For more than a decade, Diddy abused and threatened victims to fulfill his own sexual desires.
In addition,
and here's the thing. There's some of you in the comments who are going to be shocked by this. And there's another group of you in the comments, because I've seen y'all, who echo the sentiment. This happens all the time. Celebrities and people of wealth and money fly in their love interests all the time, consensually. It's consensual, agreed upon, NDAs. This is the deal. Fly you out for the weekend, fly you back home. You get a Chanel bag. See you next time when I'm in town. That happens all the time. There's people who make a living on it. You ever go on Instagram and you see these beautiful models, and they're always on somebody's boat, and they're always on someone's island, and they're always traveling coast to coast, eating scrambled eggs and toast, and you're like, does this person have a job? Okay, no. They're getting passed around. They're getting flown out. They're dipping and doing it. They're down to do something strange for a little bit of change. That's what they agree upon. That's between them, right? This, it was totally different. This is coerciousness? We got coercing women and locking them up and brainwashing them and keeping them drugged up for days for these freak offs. What? What? But the other thing I was talking about, that happens all the time. I know friends who be like, I'm about to get flown out. So-and-so was in my DMs. I'm like, well, be safe, have fun, send some pictures. Oh, yeah. The life. Here we go.
That during a raid of Diddy's Miami Beach and Los Angeles mansions, the feds found firearms, drugs, and 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lube items allegedly used in the freak-off parties. And it gets crazier, y'all, as the prosecutor claimed that all the while, Diddy had used his media status as a veil to carry out those unprintable things on unsuspecting individuals. But as expected, his lawyer denied all the allegations and maintained that his...
It's like you have so much proof, and they're still just deny. When the proof is there.
Client wasn't a criminal, which is true cause from the look of things. He's far worse than one. Diddy also pleaded not guilty to all the charges and applied for bail, offering a huge...
Denied bail, STSA, trafficking, racketeering. Oh my God. Racketeering. I sometimes forget what that means. But for those in the comments who don't know what racketeering means, let's give you a definition of what racketeering means, okay? The legal definition of racketeering, okay? Yes, racketeering is a felony in both federal and state laws. Racketeering is the act of committing or participating in a pattern of illegal activities, often organized crime group, to generate profit. The Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, RICO, was enacted in 1970 to target the leaders and financial operations of these organizations. Some key aspects of racketeering include, interstate or foreign commerce. Organizational level racketeering occurs at organizational levels. Don't know what that means. Some examples of racketeering include cyber extortion, protection rackets, kidnapping, and fencing racket. I could see that. People come up to your business and they're like, damn, this is a nice place you got here. I really wouldn't want something bad to happen to it. But, if you give me $500 a month, I'll give you some protection. Racketeering, right? Here we go.
Package of $50 million bond, his mother's passport, his mansions, home detention with GPS monitoring, and all his 7 kids' passports, including that of his 1-year-old child. Now, y'all, at this point, I can tell a lot of people's jaws are literally on the floor, which goes to speak about how shocked the whole internet is about who Sean Diddy Combs really is. Some people couldn't help but comment on his crazy supply of baby oils. I mean, check this out. 1 bottle of baby oil lasts a normal person a year. Diddy got a millennium worth. Another person made reference to the fact that he got all his children roped up in his mess, saying, even the baby? Lord, he got that whole family in some BS. Y'all, as hilarious as some of these comments are, things aren't looking good for Diddy, and it seems a lot of people might be going down with him.
I think a lot of people are going to be going down with him. And y'all keep saying in the comments in every video that he's going to sing like a canary. He's going to take people down. You know whose eyes are next? Jay-Z. And even some of y'all said Jay-Z set him up. Jay-Z set him up. That's what some people are saying. Beyonce behind it, and she trying to get away from all that. I think Beyonce about to divorce Jay-Z, in my opinion. But let me know what you think about this video. If you made it this far in the video, drop a flower emoji in the chat. Whatever flower you see. Flower emoji if you made it this far in the video. This is Rich Lux with the hottest tea on YouTube.